What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? Is showing you the SNS Imperium. So today we're gonna have a little chat about my experience keeping this little retic. So let's get straight into it. So for those of you who don't know about this little retic, she is a lavender albino 75% Madu super dwarf reticulated python. It's quite a mouthful. She's actually a CB18, a late CB18. So believe it or not, this girl even, is over a year and a half old. She's closer to being 2 years old now than what she is to being a year and a half. So she'll be 2 pretty soon. I've really enjoyed keeping this girl, to be honest, and I'm quite shocked really how small she is still, which is obviously awesome. It's what you want in a super dwarf. She's maybe 3 feet. You can see how much she's grown from when I first got her, but she's definitely not a big snake at all. Really good healthy weight. She's active. She's doing everything she should. She'll actually be eating tonight. So that's great. So things I've noticed about this particular snake is how to, some things make her quite defensive. So for one thing, I've noticed when she's in a smaller enclosure, or maybe a medium-sized enclosure with lots of stuff in there, rather than a big enclosure with lots of stuff in there, or a big enclosure with not much in there, she becomes less defensive. I'll tell you how I noticed that in a different video, but we won't get into that too much today. I've also noticed when I feed her every other week as opposed to every week, she's less defensive as well. She's less food aggressive when I go in the tank. She knows that, most of the time when I go in there, she's not going to get fed. So that's something really cool that I've noticed. So I've preferred with this girl to feed her a larger meal. A larger meal less often, as opposed to, a normal size meal every week. I've noticed that's made her a lot less defensive. I mean, you can see how much calmer she is, than in my first couple of videos. She did snap at me a couple of times, but now I can do absolutely anything with her, even though she's due to be fed today. She's really gentle. I wouldn't hand this over to a child, however, just because, it's a retic at the end of the day. They can be a bit temperamental. But she is one of the better ones out there, particularly for a super dwarf. She's always on the move, unless she's in a tank. When she's in a tank, she's pretty calm. She doesn't really do a lot. She tends to just hide, and that's that. The only time she really moves in her tank is when she can smell food, and sometimes, very occasionally, she'll have a little wander in the night. But most of the time she just does nothing. Once I get her outdoor, she's she's all for having a little run around. Makes her very very Colubrid-esque. That's how I would describe it. Very active and Colubrid-esque to handle because of the the level of activity. She's absolutely something I've noticed with her. She is happy to take almost any prey item. You probably saw a couple of weeks ago I fed a snake to her, a deceased ball python. So she will take absolutely anything, which is really cool and really interesting. It makes it easy to vary her diet, which obviously, varied diet is always something that's a good thing with keeping snakes. Hi. But yeah, I really can't wait to get some size on this girl now. I'm not going to rush her though. She is just a pet for me. But you can imagine what this girl will be like when she gets bigger. When she gets over 6 feet or so, she'll be really an excellent pet to keep, for me. This is probably one of my only pet snakes that is just a pet, and it's not going to be breeding ever. I don't have a whole lot of those because I do enjoy breeding at the end of the day. There's nothing better than, you know, seeing little baby snakes and deciding what you want to keep. But for me, I can't see me breeding this girl. Who knows though, that might change. That's why I decided to get a girl in the first place, is just in case I decide that I want to breed the species. So yeah, you know, if you're more intermediate and you don't have a big enclosure, maybe you're on your own and you can't have two people to handle a big giant retic, maybe a super dwarf is the right snake for you. They're certainly not for everyone. I tend to like the chunkier bodied snakes, but I do really like this girl. I certainly wouldn't sell her. I wouldn't change her for the world. She's an amazing little snake. They are worth thinking about if you're looking for a step up, but at the same time you have got to know what you're getting into, and you know what you're buying, because there's a lot of super dwarfs out there. They're not really super dwarfs, or they've been bred in a way that they're pretty much going to be mainland size. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for tuning in, coming to see me and my snakes, come to spend some time with me here today. I appreciate it. I hope you're all well, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.